Good morning. I've been rushing around a little bit, so we're starting a little bit late, and our esteemed musician Mark was playing to fill in the gaps, and I'm hot, so I went back to get a fan. Stand if you are willing and able, and we will sing our opening hymn in the Teal hymnal, number 1001, Breaths.
Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Sigh. Who's never heard this song before? All right. I'm going to run through that again. First verse, or refrain, then we'll go back to the first verse. Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Sigh. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead are not under the earth. They are in the rustling trees. They are in the groaning woods. They are in the crying grass. They are in the moaning rocks. The dead are not under the earth. Listen more often to things than beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Sigh. Those who have died have never, never left. The dead have a pact with the living. They are in the woman's breast. They are in the wailing child. They are with us in our homes. They are with us in the crowd. The dead have a pact with the living. So listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath when the fire's voice is heard. 'Tis the ancestors' breath in the voice of the waters. Sigh. Sigh. Cool song.
And there are some really cool recordings on YouTube. So I urge you, if you are interested in that song, to seek it out. Welcome. I'm going to have some assistance in the opening words. It is, you know that I love responsive readings if you've been here before. So I'm going to have assistance with this. Barb, can you help? It is entitled Renewal in a Weary World by Sherry Woodbury. And Barbara's going to do your part, so follow along. Welcome all who seek renewal in a weary world.
Welcome all who come with love and energy to share.
Welcome to those who worry for the future.
Welcome each one who is grateful for today.
Know that in this place, you are not alone.
In community, we share our strength with one another, and we keep the flame of love burning bright.
Know that in this place, responsibility is shared.
Here, tradition holds us. Ancestors shine a light from the past.
Here, the young lift their bright faces and beckon us onward.
Take my hand, and we can go on together.
So think of Barbara's words as our collective responsibility. So take those words to heart. Good morning. I'm Jennifer, your worship associate this morning. Worship is never a one-person job. There are many people that help coordinate to make worship happen. You've already heard our worship music associate this morning, Mark, a very talented musician. And our tech person that is inside the church today is in the back of the room, that's Nancy. And then our remote technician is Molly, and you can wave to her there. So worship is a combined effort. So if you ever want to stay home or traveling, please know that you can always join us remotely through our technical assistance team. We're glad you're here. If you're a guest today and are willing to do so, we invite you to stand if you're able and identify yourself and tell us who you are and where you're from so we may better welcome you. Do we have any guests today that would be willing to identify themselves? Please.
I'm Sarah. I'm from here in Minnesota.
Welcome. Molly, do we have any folks at home that would like to identify as a guest?
No guests today.
Thank you. We invite you to have refreshments after. We have apples and caramel sauce, and we have Halloween candy for both young and old, plus coffee and tea. Oh, and cider. And now for announcements. Now, in our order of service, we do have a website, www.uuevansville.org. You can always go there and see our weekly announcements, and you can even request that those weekly announcements be sent to your email if you would like. And we have other church-related announcements if anyone would like to come to the microphone to do so.
Good morning. I have a couple of announcements. The first one is it is the end of the month, which means it is time to get submissions in for our November Compass newsletter. Those are due by noon on Tuesday, the 29th. So if you need the email address, it should be on the one that's out in the lobby on the table. There's a Compass newsletter printed out. So if you want to go on there, if there's anything you want to send me, my email's on there. Pictures from last month's events, anything like that, or anything that's coming up next month that you're doing actively in the community, let me know and we'll put it in there. That way people know about it. That's a really important way to get the word out. Our other thing is we had our game night last night. I have 4 prizes left, you guys. I can't just go home with 4 prizes. So we have a spooky scavenger hunt. If there are 4 people who want to do it, or more can do it, but I only have 4 prizes. But around this building, in the sanctuary here, and in the meeting area, lobby area, not in the nursery, but there are pictures of little guys scattered around. So if you want to kind of find them, do that. I've got prizes. You can do that after the service. You can find me. Also, today we are wrapping up our monthly theme in RE, which is religious exploration for the youth of our community. In October, our theme has been deep listening. So each week we've been doing deep listening exercises. Last week we even went to Wesselman Woods and had a listening in nature fun day. So that was really cool. We got to even see the tree house. I recommend going over there and checking it out. Next month, our theme is repair. So the theme is repair. But there are sheets out in the lobby area as well with the RE activities for the month of November. So just wanted to make that announcement. And if you have any questions, find me. Malia is not here today. She's not feeling well. I'm going to put a pebble in the bowl for later. But she is at home today. If you need either one of us, just let us know. Thank you.
All right, I do want to announce that the next week's service, or next Sunday's service, is a prayer for democracy. And I've been leaving room in the message area if anyone wants to speak on a specific aspect of democracy. So come see me after the service if you want to be a part of that prayer for democracy service. Molly, do we have any announcements from the folks at home?
No, we don't.
Let's transform our welcoming statement into action by taking a few moments to greet each other. And please return to your seats when you hear the chime. The centering music will play. And before you stand up, or when you stand up, wave to the folks at home. And the camera's back that way. Yeah, I saw it. We're good. Thank you. Wimpy by comparison. Oh, what am I doing there? Okay, Mark. We are very blessed in our musicians, aren't we? And now it's time for the chalice lighting. May I have a volunteer, please? Thank you, Brian. The chalice lighting reading is by Pat Irby Litchley, Who We Are Called to Be. Our chalice is a reminder that in hard times, our ancestors in faith acted with courage to bring hope and safety, to bring life itself to threatened people. We light it today as a reminder of who we are called to be in a world still dangerous, still despairing. With courage and faith, we bring ourselves to the work before us. And now it's time for the offering. May I have 2 volunteers, please? If you're a guest, please let the plate pass. Your presence is the gift. The offertory reading is by Alice Anakakta Nasman, Honoring Church Ancestors. Let us take a moment to honor the ancestors of this church, the people who first came together to create a home for liberal religion here in Evansville, Indiana, who worked to raise money for a building, who sat in committee meetings and created bylaws, who chopped and marinated and baked for potlucks, who painted and weeded and pounded nails and washed countless dishes, who gathered to worship, to learn, to grieve, to heal, to serve, to build justice, to transform their lives and this world. We are the recipients of an incredible gift and a beautiful vision. Let us do our part to keep this congregation strong, vital, and thriving for the generations to come. Thank you for your offerings. It is gratefully received. And now is time for a very special time of the service. It's the story for all ages, and Ashley will be doing the reading today.
I'm going to read from up here so you all can see the beautiful pictures because this book is so beautifully illustrated. This is called Remember. It's by U.S. poet laureate the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away tonight. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life and her mother's and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are, red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them, listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind, remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember, you are all people, and all people are you. Remember, all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember, you are this universe. And this universe is you. Remember.
Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. For those that are new here, we always sing the children out as they go into RE, religious education. Or basically, they go to have fun. The opening words are by Andrew Cote. What we choose. A few years ago, my little sister moved in with me from our native Los Angeles to the coast of Maine. The move brought a lot of firsts for her: snow, the Atlantic Ocean, and seeing me as an older brother instead of an older sister. Neither of us was sure what to do in that first night she lived with me, because what are you supposed to do when at 22 you suddenly have your own, very own teenager? We ended up at one of those DVD kiosks when it asked for my zip code. I punched in the number 9 before correcting myself and typing in the 0 that starts out the zip code for Bar Harbor. Still, my sister asked. I'd started the zip code for back home. It had been 10 years since I had moved away. My sister's arrival brought part of my past into my very different present. And this suddenly forced everything out of the hiding places I'd been keeping them in. I had put home into a box and stuffed it into the farthest depths of my closet. I got lost without it for a while, but then I found communities that seemed to make sense in a way my family never did. I used to scoff at the idea of chosen family because it seemed like feeling good characterization to use when your family of origin didn't work for you. I never really embraced it for myself until I started thinking about ancestry rather than parentage. Like so many people of my age in the United States, my identities are all mixed up and only partly visible. The more mixed up our identities get, the more important our choices become. Ancestry is no longer just a question of fate or genetics, but whose shoulders we stand on. My genetic families of origin aren't necessarily recognizable when you look at me, but my chosen family, those queers and religious liberals of the past, present, and future, come shining through. I embody that history when I walk out the door because they made it possible for me to walk out the door as an openly transgendered seminarian. They are my history more completely than anything I was born into. I used to think that that meant family of choice was no place to call home, but it's not that simple. Every time we move toward liberation, we do so because of those who came before us. Those who come after us will move more easily because of what we have accomplished. This is not something limited to queer people whose families are giving them a hard time. We all choose, and sometimes that dividing line between choice and birth disappears. My sister never embraced the East Coast the way I did. She moved back home, but we talk now. She'll text me, "Hey bro, we've chosen each other. We've just found different ancestors to lean on and have established our own networks of support. We've chosen different todays and are making different tomorrows and have different pasts. Yet we also share a common history. And now we are part of each other's todays and tomorrows as well." I chose this particular opening reading to expand our concept of ancestors. I think about my own lesbian ancestors. I ponder our UU ancestors, and I think about inspirational people in history. Think about your own intellectual and spiritual ancestors. Think about past leaders in your profession. They're your professional ancestors. Think about our evolutionary ancestors, and so on. It's a lot to think about. Amen, and blessed be. And now it's time for our sharing of joys and our sorrows. In our community, we take out time each week to share pieces of our lives with one another. Let us take a moment of silent meditation, prayer, or contemplation, and then we will sing hymn number 123 in the gray hymnal, Spirit of Life.
the stirrings of compassion blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Okay, so we have a ritual of remembrance, and I have a drum here that I would like someone, if they would like to volunteer during the candle lighting part, when people are just lighting the candles, to do a heartbeat drum. Anyone want to volunteer? Please come and take your instrument. All right, this ritual of remembrance is by Reverend Mary Gear, and it's called the Ritual of Remembrance. Welcome. We gather in grief and in gratitude, grief for all the losses we have experienced, people, pets, places, and so much more. Gratitude for community and for this time to be together. Thank you for all the offering, the gifts of your presence. It matters that you are here. May this be a time and a place for each of us to experience the spirit of love and healing. Now we will name those who have gone. Part of the process of grief is to acknowledge and name what has been lost. These past years have been filled with so much stress and loss. Let us take a moment to recognize the enormity of the impact on each of us, on those we love, on everyone. Take a breath. In and out. And take a moment now to acknowledge the impact on those, on you and those you love. We will now name those lost in the past year. And they can be human and non-human. We have a number of candles on the table, and Brian has offered to assist anyone who needs assistance in lighting any of their candles of choice. And I would like to start, if Brian, could you assist in lighting one of the larger black candles in honor of all of those lives lost in the conflict between the Palestinians and the Israelis in the last year. Please take a moment. And one at a time, please come to the table and light a candle, and you can come to the mic and speak of the lost person, pet, or even place that has meaning for you. You can continue the drumming.
couple weeks ago at the Blessing of the Pets, I mentioned my cat, Jedi, who passed in this last year. Also, my great aunt, the last surviving member of my dad's family, has also died in the past year.
One candle for Garv, who I just mentioned, and then my dear friend Lenora.
I lit the one candle for two people who were very important in my life. The loss of my sister a couple years ago, and she would love this. Fall was her favorite season, and anything to do with it for her. And then just this past year, my good friend who passed away from cancer.
I'm lighting a candle for Carl Cook, who was a member here for several years until he moved to Illinois the last couple of years of his life, and was also a very good friend of mine.
I lit one for my granddad. It's been a lot of years since I've lost him, but he was the most positive influence in my life.
I'm going to light that for several people who were involved with the church, and I was involved with their celebrations of life and death. One is Dane's wife, Carol. She was not really active here, but Dane's been active for a long time, and it was a 40-year love affair between them. It's a big loss for him. Also, Alexia Wolf, who is a longtime member here. She was not real active in the last years because of her illness, but she is very involved. And also, a couple of years ago, I just have to mention John Schaefer. Many of you do not know John. John could be really single-minded about some things, but he was wise and caring man, and he's very involved with Fall Festival, and he and I could also talk baseball. I mean, he grew up next to Cooperstown, for Christ's sake, and anyway, John was a big loss. So.
I lit one candle for three different people. Chris, who is not here today because he works on Sundays. His mother passed away this last year, and I think he would appreciate us remembering him. Several of us went to that service. When you were starting the discussion of ancestors, we talk about professional ancestors. part of the reason why I have the chutzpah, so to speak, to go out in public like this is because of two people that 50 years ago when I first entered college showed me the joys of technical theater in set design and also in costuming. And I got to give Doris and Bill a lot of credit for my life as it progressed since then. And I know Bill's no longer with us, and I assume, considering how many years ago it was, that probably Doris is no longer with us either.
I just lit one candle for my mother and for my father.
For my coworker Stephanie, who made everyone else's job easier.
I'm Joel. I've been going to a senior citizens group in Henderson, and on the 17th of October, one of the ladies expired. She's always smiling and giving hugs. Just a very pleasant person. She had an aneurysm. We had her funeral yesterday.
In case you're worried, there are still 5, 6, 7 candles up here that aren't lit. So don't let that keep you in your seat if you want to be up here. But I'm going to light an imaginary candle for Ted Hurt, who was a great architect, a wonderful man, and the love of the life of one of my best friends. He died of leukemia at 53 and was a big Star Wars fan, a big Tolkien fan. He'd be quite happy with an imaginary candle because his imagination was as large as his heart.
I lit a candle for 2 people. One is for my Granny Vivian, who means a lot to me who would take care of me ever since I was a kid. And then a friend of mine named Chrissy, who passed away in a car crash this year.
I brought this toy. You can fill it with peanut butter or goodies and this traveling bowl that used to be Mason's. And if anyone has, and they're clean, thoroughly cleaned. If anyone could use them for their pet at home, you can they're gratefully offered for Mason, my dog that passed away this summer. Molly, do we have anyone at home that would like us to light a candle for them?
I don't think so.
Mark and Aaron Bradley asked me to light a candle for their ancestors. And if you could light one more candle for those that we are holding in our hearts. In this silence, we hear the names, all the names, and we know that held within each name is a story. We know that the infinite web of life and love holds us all and holds all the stories. Its strands connects us to our ancestors and to each other and to our future. May we know that what we have lost is with us still. The lives of those lost hold us steady. Their words call us back to ourselves. Their courage and love invokes our own. May we know that we, the living, take them with us, and may we choose the deeper path of living. Amen, and blessed be. And now Mark will play a short musical interlude before we finish with a prayer. Please join me in the spirit of this prayer. Spirit of love and life, great mystery, we gather today in grief and in gratitude. May we know that grief comes and goes. May we hold fast to the gratitude. May we know that the mystery is unknowable. May we hold fast to each other. May we know that what is physical comes and goes. May we hold fast to the love that never dies. As we release what we have lost to the care of the eternal, may we hold fast to the stories, the love, and the light that remains. Amen, and blessed be. Does anyone have any comments, questions, concerns before we continue the service? Molly, do we have any comments online?
No.
This is usually done as a round, but we're not going to do that. So we're just going to go through the song, repeat each line twice, and maybe go through the whole thing twice. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Oh, where do we come from? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going?
Thank you. We always have aspirations of doing that in a round because I love that song, that hymn. But alas, every time we try, we just goof it up. So we kind of, it is what it is. All right. The closing words are by Meg Riley, held in a secret web of love. Each of us, imperfect and vulnerable body spirits that we are, is connected to a vast web of love which holds us and will not let us go. We are connected through our ancient common ancestor to creative lineages that shape us. We are connected to the unborn who who still shine as stars in the sky. We spin the interdependent web from our very lives as spiders spin fierce silk from their spinnerets. It will not let us go, no matter what we do or don't do. May you always know that you are held in this sacred web of life. Amen and blessed be. May you go into the world and know that you are loved. Oh my God, how many times do I screw this up? I am an imperfect being. All right, so now we're going to, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth. Okay, you heard the closing words. Oh my God.